are, those parts being there. All right, so when we say God is simple, so we are not simple in that sense. We are compounds. We are composed of different parts. A car is not simple in that sense. It's composed of different parts. God is simple. God has no parts that you can sort of say, oh, if we remove this part of God, we are in trouble. God has sort of lost his godness. You can't take him apart. God is not a sum of parts. Okay? He is simple in nature. So God is not compound. He's not a composite of several different things. He is simple. The 1689 confession, which we hold to, hints at this. They drop the word simple, but you notice, let me read it to you, and you see where, even though they don't use the word simple, they hint at this idea. See if you can catch it. This is the paragraph on God. The Lord our God is but one only living and true God, whose subsistence is in and of himself, infinite in being and perfection, whose essence cannot be comprehended by any but himself. A most pure spirit, invisible, without body, parts, or passions, who only hath immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto, who is immutable, immense, eternal, incomprehensible, almighty, every way infinite, most holy, most wise, most free, most absolute, working all things according to the counsel of his own immutable and most righteous will, for his own glory, most loving, gracious, merciful, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, forgiving iniquity, transgression, and sin, the rewarder of them that diligently seek him, and withal most just and terrible in his judgments, hating all sin, and who will by no means clear the guilty. Did you catch where the simple came in? Yes. Without body, parts, or passions. That is where the simple came. So they dropped the word, but the concept is still there. So the old theologians who have all died explained this idea of having no parts, not being composed of two or more things, as simple. So in a number of books, when you open, you'll see, especially the older books by the older theologians, you'll see listed amongst the attributes of God that God is simple. I think a way that we can better understand it today, because when we say God is simple, everybody will say blasphemy. How can you say God is simple? So we don't quite get the concept with the way we use the word simple today. I think the better way to put it is that God is whole. Does that make sense? God is whole. He is not a sum of many fractions, part this, part that, and part the other, which we bring together and form God. But God is whole. If God was a number, he would be what number? Yes. Oh! Not zero. Not zero. No, God is not zero. No, I know I said whole, but no, not zero. Zero is nothing. If God was a number, he would be what? One. Yes, he is whole. He's one. There are no fractions. Okay? There are no parts to him. Another way to put it is to say that God is absolute. All right, so that's the definition. Are we clear on the definition? We need to move together with this one. Eh? No one must be left behind. So it all sounds good, but the question is, where is this concept in the Bible? And then we'll see finally why this concept matters, why it's important. So what? If people think God is, a formulation of parts, or God is whole, absolute, does it really matter? Yeah, so where is this concept in the Bible? Any ideas that God is simple, God is absolute, God is whole, God is not composed of this, that, and the other. He's one, he's a whole. Or maybe we don't agree with the old theologians. Maybe God is composed of parts. But if he is whole, if he is absolute, if he is simple, where is this concept in the Bible? You may not have the verse, you can even quote it or say, I think it says something like, I'll accept that. I just want to see if we can think of anywhere where this concept can be rooted in Scripture. Colossians 1, what is there that suggests this idea? Yeah, but don't throw out just a verse. Tell us at least what is it saying that suggests. Oh, she's turned it down. Anything, any line or idea in Scripture that suggests that God is simple. Yeah. Throw something out there. Let's see. Good. Let's go there. Deuteronomy 6. I even gave you the answer, you people. I said God is. I even told you if God can be a number. That should have given you the clue, right? Of where to go. Deuteronomy 6, verse 4. Deuteronomy 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. The Lord our God, Yahweh our God, Yahweh is one. Now, normally, this passage is meant to argue for the fact that God is three in one, right? So we say, yes, in Genesis, God says, let us a number of times. But by the time we hit Deuteronomy 6, verse 4, we're being told, while God is a plural, he is also a singular. And this is where you come to. God is one. Yahweh is one. And normally, so we only think of it in terms of Trinity. But there could be here also added to this verse the idea of wholeness, simplicity, absoluteness, that God is not composed of parts, but God is one, he is simple. Good. Any other verse? Yes. Exodus 3, verse 14. Excellent. Let's go there. So this idea is embedded in the name that blessings, in the passage, blessings has given.